Coming up next is Media News number 183. It's going to be an all Marvel Comics edition of Media News. And we're going to start off with talking about Kevin Smith. Not that it has anything to do with Marvel news, but it's a big story that just broke. Kevin Smith and what he's planning on doing with the rest of his movie career, which ain't much. And we're going to go right into the Fantastic Four. It's got a release date. We're going to talk about Days of Future Past and some of the casting additions to that. We're going to talk about Nick Fury will or won't be in future Captain America and Marvel movies. We're going to cover that. And more casting news on this amazing Spider-Man sequel. All that and more coming right up. Here at Alternate Reality, all new comics are 15% off every day for everybody. That's right, all my new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. All you got to do is stop in here and pick it up anytime during the 7 days that book is new. So be sure to stop off here at Alternate Reality and pick up this week's new comics for 15% off all the time, only at Alternate Reality.
It's like Hell's Kitchen, except it's media news. We serve it overdone and stale.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Zealand. It's no time for blues, it's time for media news, yeah.
Hey folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
Media News.
Media News. And Media News is coming to you from this place.
The Nook.
Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where I only have 100 square feet of space to work with, and we're right here. Actually, no, it's 3,200 square feet. We're just in the gaming section, and we're in the gaming section doing Media News and almost all Marvel Comics edition of Media News. But before we go to the Marvel Comics news, we are going to talk about Kevin Smith.
The Mayan Armageddon.
The Mayan Armageddon.
Yes, we are.
Which is already come and gone, and so we're either all dead or you are sitting there going, what a waste of time.
And because this is such tight quarters, Comic Book Man and I have stick-ups under our armpits.
Stick-ups under our armpits. Just like Kevin Smith has stick-ups under his armpits.
He certainly
We're going to
does.
start off with that, and then we're going to get to the Marvel news, because this just broke. Actually, it didn't, but it's an add-on onto this piece, and I don't want to stick it at the end. I want to stick it at the top. Make you wait for the Marvel news.
Because it's big news. That's why it's at the top.
Big news, you betcha.
biggest.
That's Justin!
Stop that yelling.
What about Kevin?
Kevin Smith
Yes.
has decided
Who?
to... Kevin Smith.
Oh, yes.
Kevin Smith, who has that lovely comic book
It's a wonderful
show
show.
on the AMC right after Walking Dead, which will go away because now they're moving it away.
Why?
It's not going to be on after Walking Dead anymore.
When's it going to be on?
Tuesday nights, Comic Book
Oh,
Man.
what a great... What time on Tuesday nights?
I think like 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on Tuesday nights.
That's a precursor to Brand New Comic Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pray for, well, if they were smart enough to tie it into New Comic Book Wednesday, which they won't, but if they were, yes, it would be.
Be that as it may, Comic Book Man. Now that Kevin Smith has his television show and he has his podcast and other things going on, he has found it necessary to jettison a small part of his career,
Which small part would that be?
making movies.
Well, you know, it wasn't doing much for him anyway, and it's not like anybody knew him on it. He never got any success out of it.
Success
It's
out of
easy
that.
when the
Why would he dump his movie career for a comic book store, a podcast, and a show that's about to be canceled
Because
on
he
AMC?
believes those things will be lucrative enough to carry the day.
Oh, you are a fool, son.
It's easier when the
You are
phone
a
stops
fool.
ringing.
You are a fool. Make movies.
Kevin
Make
has
movies.
one more film left in him, kids.
What would that be?
The blazingly original Clerks 3. Yeah, well, one of the problems, and you know Kevin Smith writes real good dialogue. We all know what Kevin Smith's best film is, don't we, Comic Book Man?
Well, I think it's
And I
Chasing
agree with
Amy.
you. That's
I think
what
it's
I-
Chasing
that is
Amy.
what I
I really
agree.
like Chasing Amy.
He has
I
a
thought it
way
was
with
really good.
dialogue. He's a talented screenwriter when he applies himself to said screenwriting
Yes.
and directing. And
You
that's
think he
not
might be getting lazy?
Clerks 3? You tell me.
I think Ben Affleck's career made him really mad.
But Netflix career made a lot of people really mad.
Well,
He made Argo, man. Argo's
Yeah,
good.
it's a great film.
so he's going to do Clerks 3, and then he's
He's
done
done with
and
motion
and he goes right to podcasts and to comic book stores and to probably writing the occasional comic book,
Probably.
maybe sort of.
Until the funds start to run really dry.
That should keep it
Speaking
healthy,
of
man.
writing the original comic books, let's get
Yes.
into that Marvel comic news I talked about at the top of the show.
Lots of it.
Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four movie is being made by Fox, and it has a date
Yes,
attached to it.
the reboot.
Yes.
Which supposedly, and this is just the working title, Fantastic Four Reborn.
Oh, like Superman Reborn.
Yes.
That was a great film, by the way.
Yes.
That worked real well for Superman. So
Sure did.
it's a good idea that
Sarcasm alert,
Fantastic
sarcasm
Four is
alert.
using that as their title. Is
The-
Richard Pryor going to be? No, he's sorry, he's dead.
no, we're not going to go
No,
there. But
Nuclear Man's going to be in it.
it's- Mark Pillow.
Mark Pillow, man.
See how I pulled that right
man.
out? Pull that nugget right out.
You know, I would have said Mark Pillow, but then everyone would have said, who? Of course, now everyone's saying, when I say Nuclear Man, who?
A mind full of useless trivia, Comic Book Man. Fantastic Four Reborn has a release date.
Of
March of the already crowded 2015.
March.
March.
Summer film, huh?
You know,
Cashing in on that summer audience.
you know as well as I do, the Iron Man film came out in late March. The first one did. The second one came out in early April.
Yes.
Those windows are getting larger and
Yeah,
larger.
well, that's true. That's true. The
So-
summer window is getting larger. The summer window starts in May now. First week of May, doesn't it?
Exactly. But to
Yeah.
your point, Fantastic Four, which is one of the crown jewels of comic bookdom, should be
Yes.
a midsummer release if
You
it were
would
given
think.
the attention and love that it deserves. But
It's
no,
not.
March 6th of 2015.
If they're dumping it in March, it's not.
Head on over to Fandango and get your tickets.
Hopefully it'll be a good movie. Hopefully it'll be a good
Yes.
movie. Fingers are always crossed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Moving on. There's an X-Men movie coming. The sequel
Yes.
to First Class, Second Class, Third
Days of
Class.
Future Past.
Days of Future
We've
Past.
covered this comic
Yes,
book,
we have.
man.
We've talked about
Brian
it before.
Singer's Days of Future
We've
Past.
covered that aspect
Yes,
of
we
it before
have.
too.
The
which
less
we're not gonna get
exciting
into.
X-Men sequel now, but we already know that along with the cast from First Class, we're
Yes.
going to get Ian McKellen
Yes.
and Patrick Stewart,
Yes.
and
Liam Neeson.
and Wolverine. What Hugh Jackman? We're
Hugh
getting him.
Jackman.
And now reports are coming in that Halle Berry and
Oh.
James Marsden are being courted to return to their respective roles in the present or whatever tense.
Well, if they were smart, and of course we all know how smart Bryan Singer is. Again, Superman Reborn. But if they were smart, since this is Days of Future Past, and
Superman Returns.
return,
Yeah, returns.
return.
Returns.
Okay. If he was smart, he would have Halle Berry and the rest of these fine actors in the future part of Days of Future
That's-
Past. Because in that
that's
story,
exactly
of
what's
course,
gonna happen.
Wolverine projects, or one of them, I forget which one, they project into the future and you see what life is like 40 years down the road if the Sentinels have taken over and all the mutants are dead except for Wolverine and Kitty Pryde and a handful of them. And, the fact that they're older now would help that process considerably.
And seeing supposedly as the future part of this film with Patrick Stewart and supposedly Halle Berry and
Yeah.
James Marsden is supposed to be a much smaller portion than the First Class group.
It would be an easier get.
It's an easier get and a smaller payday, so it could conceivably happen.
So that could all work out for the
Yeah.
best. That could all work out
Yep.
for the best. Nick Fury. Now, if you remember the Marvel movies, Nick Fury was in Iron Man 1. He was in Iron Man 2.
He was in all of them.
He was in
all
all
of
of them, right up to the Avengers.
Right up to the
And now
Avengers.
Iron Man 3 is coming out.
Yes.
And of course, Nick Fury
Is not in Iron Man.
is not
3.
in Iron Man.
No, they're starting to change it up a little bit. Sam Jackson confirmed Nick Fury will not be in Iron Man 3, nor will he be in Thor: The Dark World. He will be, however, in Captain America: Spring Soldier. He'll be in
Spring Soldier?
Winter Soldier. I'm
Spring
just
Soldier.
playing comic book.
What the hell?
Playing
Okay.
with you. So
Okay.
Nick
Didn't
Fury
he,
not
didn't he
in.
originally sign to do 13 films? I mean, to appear in 13 films.
That option is there, I guess.
so,
Where
I mean,
are we
I-
up to
you know, I
now?
don't-
We're
I
up
don't-
to we're
I-
up to 22 now, aren't we? Something like that in the Marvel universe.
Well, I mean, I couldn't tell you how many he's appeared in, but I don't think he's burned off that option yet. So, I mean, he's still supposed to appear in future Marvel movies. If
13,
it's
you
13,
said?
I thought it was 13 that he signed for.
Let's count. We've had the Hulk. We've had 2 Iron Man
Okay,
movies.
3,
We've had Captain America. We've had Thor.
5,
What am I missing? The Avengers.
6.
Am I missing anything? Fans?
I don't think so.
I don't hear you.
I don't
So
think
6. So he's got 7 to go.
6, so 7 to
Avengers
go.
2 is a shoe.
Which is sort of odd that he wouldn't be in these upcoming films.
Oh, he's in Winter
because-
Soldier. That's another one.
Well,
so
that
that
would-
leaves
okay, that would
4.
be no,
We're down to Avengers 2 and 4 other films.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't know what they're holding him for, but maybe they have a Nick Fury movie planned.
Or he might make a little appearance in the Shield show. Maybe, possibly.
Oh, I doubt that.
Oh.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I got a feeling they're going to try.
Oh,
to
you
shy
just
away
missed
from
Nick Fury. He just left 2 minutes ago.
that. Yeah, that's what I would do. Find a bald black guy and put him in a trench coat and have him walking down the hallway as the camera comes in. Hey, where's Nick Fury? He's right down there. You see the back of his head, 14 doors down, going into the elevator.
Nick, you forgot to flush.
Yes.
And you know what I'd do? I'd make that a running joke throughout the entire series. That would be funny. I'd make
Along-
that a running joke. throughout
Along
the
with things
entire
like, yes, Mr. Banner, we'll get right on it.
yeah, Nick, hi.
Tony Stark, you just missed him.
Oh, I just missed.
Just missed him.
Wrapping up Marvel news.
Yes.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man was out this past summer. Of course, there's a sequel coming. What's up with that?
The director of the original Amazing Spider-Man and the sequel, Mark Webb. And this is how movie news hits the world now, Comic Book Man.
Yes, how?
Wasn't announced over any sort of news wire. Wasn't announced on the internet. Twitter. Mark Webb went to Twitter and said that he has cast Chronicle and Lawless actor Dane. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Preparation.
Dane
preparation is
DeHaan.
key,
Dane
ladies.
DeHaan. Dane
Yeah,
DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan will be playing Harry Osborn.
And Osborn's going to show up.
Yes, which can only mean. Exactly. Caesar Romero will be. in it.
Caesar Romero will show up, yes. And he won't shave off his mustache.
We're paving.
No
the
matter
way,
what.
Paving the way for future films coming.
Gosh, I hope he wears a big metal mask that only
Yeah.
covers his face. Whoever it is. Because that was a brilliant
Oh,
idea.
it's great. He'll look like a Power Ranger.
Why are we paying for William Dafoe?
Yeah, who
why
looks
are we,
already like.
Why are we paying for
He
this
already
guy?
looks like Green Goblin without any makeup on.
Yeah, here, put this mask on. Hey, you look just like him now. And that's it.
That's it. We're done.
We're done. We're finished out here. We got no more Marvel media news, but go to the store's website. Check out all the Marvel news Bo sends me. I post up there. And, of course, all this man's reviews. Where's the store's website at?
That girl over there, behind the camera, she knows.
www.myalternatereality.com. Warning, may cause chuckling.
So go to the store's website. Check out all his reviews and all Bo's news. And until next time, this is Comic Book Man
And this is good old JR.
saying...
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.